3.9 Path of Exile, Conquest of the Atlas patch notes. The Metamorph Challenge League. Okay, so is this the league? Challenge leagues are a great opportunity for a fresh start and a new economy. All of your old characters and items are still present in standard and hardcore leagues, but you are encouraged to join the new leagues, complete challenges, and demonstrate your mastery of the Path of Exile. In the Metamorph Challenge Leagues, fellow Exile Tane Octavius is investigating the source of ill intent in the world, what he calls intrinsic darkness, by help him by harvest flesh samples from monsters throughout raid class and combining them to summon powerful transforming bosses. Okay, build your own boss mechanic. Yeah, getcha. The more difficult the encounter you create, the greater the reward. Yeah, I bet you'll get like 2 scrolls of wisdom instead of just 1. A new type of currency, the Catalyst, is available only by creating and defeating these powerful foes. Catalysts can be used to increase the quality of rings, belts, and amulets. Okay. Once you reach maps, you'll be able to acquire samples from map bosses in different areas to combine them in Tane's lab. 3.9, there are standard, hardcore, solo self. They have core mechanics. You can create private league versions of these leagues with mods that make the game harder. Yeah, but what's the point playing with yourself though? What's the point in splitting up the player base into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? There's no point in splitting us up in like 10 different fucking sections. The new challenge leagues include a set of 4 new challenges. 12 gets you the footprints. 24 gets you the weapon effect. 36 you will receive the portal effect. Okay, so this is what I'm going for. 36 challenges. The microtransactions are available this league from the 19th challenge onwards, and for every 3rd challenge after that, you receive pieces of the Metamorph token pole decoration. Permanently showcases how many Metamorphs. Okay. The new content. Okay, Conquerors of the Atlas. A brand new in-game mapping experience. Shaper and Elder have both been defeated, just not by you. Huh. So there's no more Shaper and Elder? So we don't have these ridiculous overpowered helmet chase uniques, chase rares? Another group of exiles have saved Rayclass from the Celestial Harbingers of Doom. But that wasn't enough. They continued to cut past through the Atlas, leaving carnage in the wake and forcing Zana— No! Not Zana! To seal them away in the Atlas forever. But they are trying to find a way out. Can you stop them before they bring ruin to Oriath? 5 new in-game bosses. Is that all? Yeah, see when you get back. A new dexterity skill gem. So we talked about this yesterday. Artillery ballista, shrapnel ballista, and snaring arrow. Greater volley. Arrow Nova support. Bow attack skills fire arrows as projectiles. Okay, so like a EK Nova. These skills will instead fire a payload arrow into the air that lands at the target location. And then it's in the circle where it lands. Okay, so it's like, you know, barrage support. Supported skills fire projectiles sequentially. Three additional projectiles and have more attack time. More attack time. I don't know what this means. Does it mean for each one it takes longer to fire the next one? Because that's okay. Crusader's Exalted Orb, Hunter's Exalted Orbs. Oh, okay, so not only you're splitting the player base, but you're actually splitting the currency as well. Each of these currencies will add an additional modifier. Okay, so it's not a random, it's just a kind of sort of a guaranteed modifier. Orb of Awakening? Wasn't that like already in the game like ages ago? So you can transfer like a shaper influence to something else. $16 new uniques, 35 awakened support gems, which are more powerful versions of existing support gems. These gems are only available from the conquerors of the Atlas content. Oh my goodness. 14 new divination cards. Good to see. One thing we need is more fucking divination cards. You can now add item filters to your account through the Path of Exile website. When you log into your game client, no matter where you are logging in from, you will have access to all item filters tied to your account, even if you're playing on console. Oh, okay, it's a console. Lion's Watch has been visually updated because everybody stays in Lion's Watch forever, doesn't they? I suppose it's like the first place you go, so yeah, but dude, what a waste of fucking time, dude. Really? Lion's Watch? Really? You know why? You know why they did this? I know why they did this. It's because all of the GGG guys sit in Lion's Watch. There is a new loading screen. Vendor recipe. Edit a vendor recipe for your spear catalysts. Okay. You can now refund multi-choice passives. What does this mean? Such as those on the Ascendant. Oh, okay. Without having to refund the passives after them as well. Oh, okay. Added 3D art for Torchoke, Step, and Missionamits. Ranged attack totems now called ballistas. And have the cool new look! It's a ballista! You fucking idiots. A lot of ranged attack skills have received visual updates. Arrows that collide with terrain now have a chance of bouncing off. Path of Exile now with physics. This doesn't do anything other than look cool and help performance in situations where players are firing thousands of arrows. Why not just make it so we can only fire hundreds of arrows? No? Alright. Other skills have also received visual improvements. Firestorm, Freeze Pulse. I love Freeze Pulse. Magma Orb, Rip Magma Orb. Summon Skeletons. I love Skeletons. Added Labyrinth enchantment for the new skills. Cosmetic filter. Improved the shadows. Double-edged dagger. Oh, double dagger. Dual strike animation. Okay. Okay, I bet you some casuals will be excited about that. Continue to incrementally improve sound, art, effects, and environment. Atlas. The Atlas has been reworked. You now start at the... Okay, you now start at the center and work your way outwards as you explore a new storyline. The Shaper and other storyline is gone. and replaced by a story that takes place in the aftermath of the story. So if you hadn't played Path of Exile before this, see ya. 5 new difficult bosses, a new mechanic, watchstones. These can only be obtained by defeating one of the new bosses. They have a chance to be obtained by defeating the new bosses. They can be used to raise the tier of all maps in a particular region of the atlas, causing all maps to drop the new higher tier. Sextants no longer be applied to individual maps and no longer have a radius. They are now applied to watchstones instead, and affect every map in that watchstones region. So it's sort of like a fossil delve mechanic thing, I think. They are not restricted by map tier, and if 2 or more watchstones contain the same sextant models, only one will apply. Also, we've renamed them. Zana can now sell Shaper now that influence maps. Once you progress in the atlas enough, they act like all atlases verse. Why not just put a map mod on it for like 10 chaos or something? Whatever. Zana modifiers that change map tiers or reload map have been disabled, at least for now. Dude, why don't you just have playtesters that can do this? Why do you have to chuck it on us in the first week? Unique maps now drop varied tiers based on the state of your atlas. Maps that previously had monster level overrides such as Hallowed Ground now instead rely on the variable tier. Okay, but these are only like this is only like one fucking map out of 1,000. Rip, how many times in the first 4 hours? We are the playtesters. They don't fucking pay us, that's for sure. A lot of jokes. Blight mechanics added to the core game. Man, I'm so glad I got a computer that can play this stuff. Each Blight encounter will award at least 1 oil or blighted map. Holy shit! For every Blight encounter you get either an oil or a blighted map. Dude, that is insane. And a 10% chance? Dude, this is better than the actual Blight League. Cassia will say some nonsense early on because we haven't updated her script yet. Just have her singing, dude. Just have her singing, because that was fine. I love the singing. Character balance. Fortifies damage reduction now has a fortifies damage reduction effect is now multiplicative with other similar effects. Wow. Except it's not like reduced damage taken, it's like something else though, isn't it? Skill and chill effects have now been changed. In general, it's much easier but harder to reach high values. We've added an Ailment Threshold. Yeah, we read about this the other day. The Ailment Threshold matches the monster's maximum life. It primarily differs from especially high life monsters, except where the threshold is reduced to allow ailments to be applied with hits that wouldn't ordinarily reach the required life threshold. The minimum shock. Well, I suppose it's with the Shaper gone. What's the fucking point, guys? What's the point? Shaper's not even there. The minimum shock and chill is now 5%. From 1% to reach the minimum, you must deal 0.4% of the monster's ailment threshold with the associated element. A single hit. To inflict 10% chill, you must inflict 1.8. of a monster's Ailment Threshold. 30% requires... Okay, so if you do no damage, you can still chill. But if you can kill him in 4 hits, you can chill him even more. I just don't understand ailments. I really don't. Default shock magnitude for effects that apply shock without damage. Your skitterbots now 15%, down from 20. Yeah, that's fine. Because why would you even... How the fuck do you deal this little damage? Why would you even bother about this stuff when you can just get a skitterbot? The alternative ailments, Sap, Scorch, and Brittle have a slightly different calculation. Skill reworks, Shrapnel Shot, now called Galvanic Arrow, fires 2 additional arrows at all levels. The arrows now degrade in flight, eventually vanishing. This limits the skill's range. Modifiers to projectile speed will allow the arrows to travel further. So it's kind of like got a GMP and slower projectile sort of shit. It's kind of like a freeze pulse GMP sort of stuff. Still deals burst damage in a cone. Increases and reduction to arrow speed apply to the Increases and reductions to arrow speed also applied to the skill's area of effect. What? So increases to projectile speed will cause your cone to also reach farther. What have you done to AoE? Remember to stretch, everyone. Damn, there's so much salt. I actually said yesterday, damn, there was so much salt in that video, and now I'm just continuing to bring the salt. Okay, now gains added lightning damage. Now gains 1% increased projectile speed quality. And per 2 quality you get increased AoE. Dude, this is a bow meter. Arrows no longer pierce by default. Explosive arrow now costs 8, down from 18. Wow. Now you don't have to be blood magic explosive arrow. Arrows stick to an enemy or wall, split of the duration. The duration no longer refreshes when a new arrow is attached. Previously they were handled like charges with a refresh during it. Yep. If an enemy has multiple arrows, the first one will explode and consume all other attached arrows. This is how it should have worked in the first place. On-hit effects such as chance to ignite or critical strikes are determined by the exploding arrow. However, each arrow's damage is calculated with the independent critical strike chance taken into account. For example, if an exploding arrow did not successfully and did not or ignite, but the other 2 arrows did roll the chance, they would have their damage added, but it would not ignite. Dude, explosive arrow meter. I'm gonna play explosive arrow, James. Now they have 50% of base damage. Base damage wasn't even a thing before. Explosions now deal added fire damage. Bro, I'm gonna do explosive arrow. Even you say it sounds good. Now inherits its base crit strike from your weapon. Now gains +2 the radius. Up to +19 at level 20. Explosions now deal 3% more damage with ignite per explosive arrow. What's the maximum on that? So if we did like stuck 100 arrows in the guy, could I deal like 300%, 30% more damage? Put it with less duration. No, you put it with increased duration, dude. Increased duration. All ballista totem skills now place totem at melee range. Okay. That was the shit thing about totems though, is that it didn't have enough placement range on it. Because I've played some totem builds. But whatever. Whatever, we'll see how that turns out. Arc can now chain... Oh, this is what you were saying. In order for art to feel good, it needed like the jump range to be increased. So we got a... Dude, we got like a 50% arc buff, man. Blast Rain now deals 30% of base damage. Down from 40, 30% at 20 down, so Blast Rain got a damage nerf. Sources of additional projectiles now add additional explosions. Now has additional projectiles. Okay, so this is a buff overall. Burning Arrow now converts 100% of physical damage to fire damage. Ooh. 50% chance at all levels. Ooh. Now deals 50% more damage with Ignite. Ooh. Applies additional debuff when you ignite, dealing extra burning damage based on the magnitude of the ignite. Yeah, arc jump, yeah, arc buff, arc jump buff, yeah. Now gains plus 1% fire damage over time. Multiplier per 2% quality. Plus 1% to fire damage over time instead of increased ignite duration. Wow, dude. Welcome back. Welcome back. Caustic Arrow now deals 8.8%. Up from 7. 2000 up from 1800. Now gains additional radius. Discharge. Dude, does anyone even discharge anymore? Discharge no longer has a target limit. Okay, so I bet you there'll be like major this is like sort of like a light league amount of enemies, like just fucking enemies everywhere. League. Elemental hit now deals 20 to 40 fire. 480, 590. Now deals 18 cold damage at level 1 from 400 at level 20, down from 450. Now deals 4 added lightning. So the lightning was really wasn't changed. Freeze pulse. The art now more accurately reflects the rate at which the damage dealt by projectiles is reduced. Yeah, because it was kind of, yeah, you didn't really know with freeze pulse. Ice shot no longer leaves chilled ground on impact. What? Dude, this is a buff for us because enemies with ice shot were freaking annoying. Now deals 130% up from 120, and at level 20 it does 174 up from 150. Now chills enemies through dealing 100%. Chills enemies. Now chills enemies as though dealing 100% more damage at level 1 up to 200% at level 20. Now gains increased chill effect as the gem levels. Icicle Mine was providing enormous area coverage and damage at very little cost. also was causing performance issues. What? These changes are intended to bring Icicle Mine in line with the other mines, as well as alleviate the performance issues it was causing. The projectiles now fade over time, similar to Freezing Pulse, but without the gradual damage drop off. In other words, the mines have a shorter range by default, but can be increased 4 additional projectiles, down from 6. 1% increased projectile speed instead of damage. Lancing Steel now has a attack time multiplier of 85. Deals 135%, 180%. So they had a slight, like a little buff. Increased impale effect instead of chance to impale. I don't know how that's going to affect it. Lightning Arrow now deals 110% of base damage, up from 100. 134 up from 120. Now shocks enemy as though dealing 100% more damage at level 1, up to 200% at level 20. Wow, those skills are fucking nuts, man. I'm gonna play like Explosive Arrow, Lightning Arrow. Now gains increased effect of shock as the gem levels. Now gains a 1% chance to shock, 0.5% increased effect. Previously, it was a chance to shock. We're getting increased effect and chance. Lightning Spire Trap now deals less damage. Yep. Now strikes every 0.5 seconds. Okay, so Lightning Spire got a nerf. Lightning Warp. One of my favorite skills, Lightning Warp. If you now cast multiple Lightning Warps rapidly. Oh, what? Oh, how fast is rapidly? You will travel between all of them, so it's no longer a movement skill now. So if you're a caster, you're fucked for movement skills. You travel between all of them as they trigger the warp. The timing for each subsequent warp is based on the distance. Okay, so that's how it's always worked. But this is ugh, how many people are gonna die because of that? People are just gonna not use that. I mean, you might as well just make Val Lightning Warp a thing. Molten Strike now deals 120% of base damage at level 1, up to 140 at level 20 from 40. Orb of Storms now deals 2 to 7 lightning damage at level 1, so they got a nerf. Got a nerf because people were using it for leveling. Pestilent Strike now gains additional melee range as it levels. Punishment now causes cursed enemies to have 20% reduced physical. Minus 20% to reduce physical damage taken. The duration, okay, because no one was ever using that except people like me. The duration, because what is it? Vulnerability was just the way to go. The duration of the buff granted by cursed enemies when they hit you now matches the base duration of the curse. Which is 9 seconds. Wow. Yay, that's cool. Rain of Arrows now deals 50%. They got a buff. Raise Spectre. So this is the second Spectre. This is the third Spectre. So if you get the node on the tree, you get 3 Spectres. So you have to go into endgame with 3 Spectres. The zombie slam ability now has a 6-second cooldown from 4. You need to fucking work on the AI of the actual minions before you do all of these changes. Gosh darn it. The slam is now slower and has less base damage effectiveness, rising to the... Okay, so as the gem levels up, there's sort of no change. Base damage has been reduced by 25%. No longer grants zombies more life, but zombies themselves... Dude, zombies... Oh my god. Oh my goodness. The zombies themselves do gain base life. Okay, so they don't get more life, but they gain base life, like other minions. Okay. Scourge arrow, 29%. Oh, we haven't got the Scourge arrow. We haven't got the Scourge arrow. You just couldn't fucking wait, could you? Now increases zombie slam area of effect as the gem levels. Okay. Okay, so they nerfed zombies for leveling. Pretty much. Scourge arrow now deals 30%, down from 40%. 20 at level 1. Down from up from. None of that there. Shattering Steel now has base attack time multiplier. Now deals 50%. Okay, so there's not too much change. There's just slight tweaks. This is that, okay, they're making 10%, they're making enemies 10% stronger, so they make our skills 10% better. It's like, why? The buff granted by Smoke Mine, I need some noodles, man. The buff granted by Smoke Mine now grants 10% increased movement speed at gem level 1, from 20% and up to 29. Siege Ballista now requires level 12. Deals 100% at level 1. Now grants +2 to the number of summoned siege ballistas at all levels. From what? From no additional siege ballistas? I don't know. Now grants 1% projectile damage quality. Previously it was placement speed. Dude, because that's what we want. We want every single totem out there needs placement speed. It's just, you pick it up if you can, and if you don't, you're gonna just feel like garbage. Oh! And I say again, don't skip ahead. Yeah. Oh, don't read that. Oh, don't read that. Spectral Throw now has an attack time multiplier of 110 from 100. Split Arrow now adds physical damage. Soul Rend now has a base duration of 0.6 seconds. What's that got a buff? Stormblast Mind. You found the hidden top tier? What's so hidden about it? Now deals 2 to 7 lightning damage from 3 to 10. 300 to 1000, from 300 to 1000 to 900. Summon Raging Spirits will now try to travel to the location your cursor was over at the point they were summoned, unless they find an enemy before they arrive. The secondary projectiles now fade over time. Oh, this is Tornado Shot. Secondary projectiles fade over time, but without the damage drop off. In other words, the secondary projectiles so this is just like performance sort of stuff. Toxic Rain now deals 8 chaos damage from 7. Vile Burning Arrow, 100% is converted to fire. 50% charge to ignite, up from 30. All levels. Okay, so it's not really an issue. 150% more damage with ignite. Wait, what? It's a Vile skill, so I don't know about that. Just skip that. Vile Spectral Throw. Venom Gaia now deals 90%, up from 80. 115, up from 40. Volatile Dead has a limit of 60 orbs. Skill Gem reworks ranged attack totems. Skills deal 50% less damage. %50 less attack speed. Wow. Feeding Frenzy now grants 10% from 15. 5% more when they have the buff from 15. 15 down from 20, down from 24. Would it be interesting to see how Fortify works now? Be really interesting. Impale now grants supported skills 30% to total physical damage reductions. Inspiration, supported skills deal 5% more per inspiration charge. Up to 7% at level 20. Down from 8. Supported skills now have 6% increased critical strike chance. Whoa. Uh, 6% down from 7 and 8% down from 10. LMP now deals 15% at level 1. Wow. Up to 6%. Dude, LMP is fucking awesome. Minion damage. Minion damage has had nothing happen to it. Now grants 1% increased damage from minions. Increased damage to minions? From minions from supported skills per 2% quality. Mirage Archer support. This was it yesterday. The Mirage Archer now has 40% less damage. Up from 30. 31% less. Up from 11%. Its targeting distance has now been lowered to 70 units. Onslaught 20. So we lost 5% chance for Onslaught. We lost 5-second duration on it. Up to 39% chance to gain on. Oh my goodness. Supported skills now have 20% chance to grant Onslaught for 3 seconds on dealing a killing blow at gem level 1. And a 40% down from 45 to gain Onslaught for 7 seconds down from 7 at gem level 20. I don't know, that 5-second reduction though now gains 1% increased attack and cast speed per 2% quality. Point blank 30% to 50. Volley now deals 12% less projectile, up to 3% less. Dude, projectile support's getting, dude, fuck, dude. This is major buff to bow skills. Oh my god, look at all this crap. Passive tree balance. Point blank was reworked, added a new cluster watchtowers. Bonus to attack totems and allows you to summon an additional totem. Ironwood has been moved to the south of the duelist. The movement speed for minions granted by the Ravenous Horde has been halved. The Graceful Assault has been moved. Horned Edge cluster is now moved 1 passive to the east. The Ambidexterity / Blade barrier cluster have been moved. Retaliation Testudo wheel are in place of it. Bludgeon Blitz and Swagger clusters have been moved. Lava Lash notable now grants 8% fire damage over time multiplier. Added new cluster to the Shadow. Lightning damage with skills, chance to shock, effective shock, critical strike against shock. Added a new cluster between Ranger and Duelist. Burning Brutality, which grants fire attack, and the same with Freeze. Okay. Added a new stat, total physical damage reduction from your hits. So this is sort of like a bypass. Sets have been added to the following clusters. There's a bunch of them. Added a new very similar stat. Enemies you impale have minus physical damage reduction. Ascendancy balance Necromancer minus aggression now grants your energy 10% increase. Whoa, rip minions, man. Rip minions. Commander of Darkness now grants increased attack and cut speed, or as a single combined aura rather than a separate aura for each aura you had. Oh man, you're alright, man. You'll see on Saturday. This is just a bunch of it's all just blah 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 blah. It doesn't really mean anything. Except for this, Necromancer sucks now. Guardian, Unwavering Faith now grants the physical damage reduction and life regen aura as a single. Oh, fuck Guardians. You got nerfed. Explosive, yeah, I'm gonna get explosive arrow, dude, because ballistas are gonna be fucking garbage. Endless Hunger now causes you to be unaffected by bleeding rather than immune. Why did they do this? I wonder why they did that. There's gotta be some, while bleeding you take 1000% more damage or something. And Slayers was the only person immune to it. Item balance. Assassin's Sniper has had their increased strike chance from 2%, 0.2% increase. Steel, Wood and Reflex bows have now increased movement speed from 4, 10% movement speed from 8. Spine bow, base types, attacks per second increase. Damage has been lowered though. The Ranger bow now deals more damage. All 1 types now have 20% more base damage. Bows and wands can now roll attack speed multipliers. Added fire, cold, lightning damage for bows. No longer use the same modifiers for those found on one-handed weapons. They instead now have their own progression and approximately 25% stronger than them. Crafted modifiers. The fastest start of energy shield recharge crafted modifiers. The lower tier grants 8 to 11, from 12 to 17. It costs an Orb of Alchemy, usually costs a Regal. And the higher tiers now grant 12 to 15, down from, wow, 15% from 24%. That's a big drop. And you save, imagine that, imagine going from an Exalted Orb to 4 Alchemies. I would make that trade. You can no longer craft +1 to maximum number of curses on body armors, or unveil it from the syndicate members. You can no longer craft veils added damage. Crafted modifiers which grant elemental or chaos resistance penetration on weapons now grant up to 9 to 10% from 14 to 16. The crafted suffix, which previously allowed you to craft any number of additional mods on an item, now allows you to craft up to 3 mods on the item. This affects existing items. Items with the mod will now be limited to 2 additional crafts. However, Any items with more than the allowed number will be okay. So it's not sort of like a legacy thing. The veiled and crafted modifiers with hybrid defenses have had their values halved and their tier progression split by item type. Shaper and Elder modifiers. The Shaper and Elder physical damage added as elemental on amulets has now been nerfed. Shaper and Elder attack speed has been it's been nerfed to the ground. Elemental penetration, you can't get it. On a suffix, you can only get it on a prefix. I suppose that's a big to the 1%. It's a huge nerf. Bows can no longer roll the two-handed weapon version of added cold damage per dexterity. See, this is why you need playtesters, people. Increased maximum mana modifiers on helmets. Got a nerf. The higher tier increased all attributes on amulets. No longer. Can't roll elemental penetration. The low tier reduced reflection. Now grants 100% reduced elemental reflected damage taken. Can't roll that anymore. Non-chaos damage added as extra chaos. Got halved. Even more than half. Elemental damage as extra chaos damage. That got halved as well. Staffs can now roll a two-handed version of this. Recover mana on block is 3 to 5, down from 4 to 8. You can no longer roll additional chance to evade attack on rings. Damn. Dude, James, can I do like an explosive arrow marauder? Ice shot. I didn't see ice shot. No longer roll chance to maim on two-handed weapons. Hybrid fizz damage and support spell damage and support modifiers can no longer roll on two-handed weapons. Added fizz and chaos to spells on weapons. Got a huge buff. Huge buff. Fossil crafting. The supported by maim modifier from serrated fossils can no longer be rolled on body armors. The damage is taken from mana before life is now a prefix. The added maximum life and increased life from the pristine can no longer roll. Elemental penetration from fossils have got a nerf from 5 to 7 down from 7 to 10. Prismatic modifiers. Other item changes. The metals modifier on boots, which grant chance to dodge, has been halved. Spell damage modifiers for one-handed weapons. I can now reach up to 110% increased spell damage from 80. Spell damage modifiers on two-handed weapons can now reach 165%, up from 115. Spell damage modifiers granted by Essence of Woe have been updated to be consistent with the above changes. The increased elemental damage prefixes have also been raised. The cartographer's seals and unshaving orbs can no longer be obtained via their recipe, as they can no longer be used. They can be sold at a vendor to recoup their original recipe components. So there's no more Atlas strats now, I see. Apprentice Cartographer Sextants. Sextances fuck that. Apprentice Cartographer Sextants are now called Simple Sextants. Oh, okay. Prime. Simple, Prime, and Awakened. Okay, whatever you say. Whatever you say, GGG. Sextants are no longer used at maps, they are now used on watchstones. The rewards from Legion and Blight have been tweaked. This one for you, James. The number of gems rewarded by... Oh, really? It's been reduced. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. Modifiers exclusive to the Convoking Wand have had their relative weightings adjusted. Skill specific Labyrinth enchants that have increased AoE have had their values increased to 16 and 24 respectively. Blast Rain has an additional enchant. Labyrinth enchants which previously granted additional knockback chance for sweep now grant chance to gain an endurance charge on kill. Labyrinth enchants which previously granted increased duration for ice shots chill the ground now instead grants increased damage with ice shot. Wow. Oh wow. Everybody have a stretch. 10 seconds of stretching. The Labyrinth enchants which grant increased AoE on shrapnel shot can no longer be obtained. Shaper and Elder Scarabs have been reworked. The price of protection divination card has been temporarily disabled from dropping because of T16 chateaus. Remove the secret upgrading recipe. Oh shit, we're like damn, we're like halfway through. Reach of the council is not changing in this. Volley fire is now limited to 1. It now causes you to fire 6 additional. I don't think I know about enough about bow skills to be commenting on this stuff. Volley fire is now limited to 1. Okay. And now causes you to fire 6 additional projectiles on the first and the last volley, up from 2. Existing items can be updated to this new value with a divine orb. Okay. A Zenith chant now triggers a socketed spell when you attack with bow. It has a cooldown. Emberwake now causes ignited enemies to burn slower. Ari's Ire has 100 minimum added cold damage to bows, down from 170. And 160 down from 240. Whoa. Quill Rain now grants 30% less damage instead of 40. Soft Nurture no longer has ignites. You inflict spread to other enemies. It's now supported with proliferation. Okay, so there must have been some sort of shenanigans with that. The Unshattered Will's damage reduction from the Harbinger's focus effort is now multiplicative with other similar effects. Snake Bite now also grants plus 5% damage over time modifier for poison per frenzy charge. Existing items are unaffected. Namahu's Flame Molten Burst skill now deals 50% more damage. Hallowed Ground no longer overwrites the monster levels. The level subtracts levels from the monsters within it based on the mod. This is due to the capacity for it. To now have a variable tier. Existing versions of this are Pitch darkness no longer drops and cannot be obtained outside of trading with other players. Oh, what? Sudden ignition no longer drops. It cannot be attained. It now prevents burning arrow from applying its additional burning arrow effect. Okay. Sibyl's element now reduces reflected elemental damage taken by 80%, while in the left slot, and reduces reflected physical damage while in the right slot. Uriel's worsening minions are now immune to damage and cannot be targeted by enemies. Fostering? Dude, what the fuck? Voltaxic Rift now allows you to shock enemies as if dealing 300% more damage and allows shocks to inflict. Whoa. 2 new areas connected to the epilogue have now been. Oh, yeah. Cool. Helena has got something to say about the Order of the Jinn. Monster changes. Boss encounters throughout the entire map have been made more difficult, and in most cases have significantly more life and deal more damage, and use some skills and attacks more quickly. Oh. This is particularly true for act bosses. 7 new bosses have new skills. Dude, there's one thing I don't want is for innocents to have more fucking attack speed, man. Monsters throughout the game now have more armor from 33 at level 1 up to 3000 at level 84. It sounds a lot scarier than it is because their base armor is surprisingly unimpressive. More sweet, we're gonna get this map mod that says monsters have plus 50 additional base armor or something like that. Monster resistances throughout the game have been reviewed and made more consistent. The wave skill used by some sea witches is no longer considered a projectile and will deal damage in a way that more accurately reflects its visuals. Yeah, because some sea witches were a little fucky. Betrayal of the Mastermind will now drop scarabs. Safe house outcomes that reward scarabs have been tweaked to get more scarabs. Map changes the Atlas has been completely worked. Elder, Shaper, and combined Elder and Shaper encounters can be accessed if you are lucky. Zana may offer a Shaper or Elder Guardians map. Elder Guardians are no longer in separate instance to that tier of map. Like bosses throughout the campaign, most map bosses have had their life significantly increased and damage, speed, and several skills increased. Many bosses are now also more resistant to elemental and chaos damage. When encountering Zana in a map, the number of map options is now tied to the level of the area, because before it was in T1 to 5 you would just get random T1 to 5 maps, I think. Zana's level, which determines the map device crafting options you have available, as well as maps Zana Socket Vendor, is now determined by the number of maps you have completed on your Atlas. Don't know how I feel about that. So if you've completed every map on your Atlas and your Atlas bonus is up there, she's gonna sell more maps. Whereas if you're just getting into maps, she's gonna have fuck all maps for you to buy. This is what happens if you run out of maps, dude? You've got to go and farm frickin' aqueducts or something. Maps now have a 10% chance to contain a vile side area. Maps now have vile side areas. What's the bet people are just going to run straight past that? The Cortex map is now more commonly available from Zana relative to other synthesis maps. Is now always level 83. All synthesis maps require minimum level 80. All 5 synthesis maps can drop as unique items. They can only be obtained from map bosses tier 11 or greater. If you're very, very lucky, maybe. If you're very, very lucky, maybe. Oh, is it my salt that's doing it to you, James? I hope you're not. Getting less hype because of the way I'm reading this. Zana League mods available during 3.9. Fortune favors the brave. Essence, Anarchy, Domination, Bloodlines, Nemesis, Beyond, Legion. I'm going to be using none of those. UI improvements. The world map panel now supports curved lines. The world panel map. Oh, okay, curved lines. Huh. What a waste of fucking time. The reason the resonator stack sizes are no longer obscured by the resonator sockets. Added slots in the fragment stash for Elder and Uber Elder fragments. Why would you buy a fragment stash? Increase rewards. Zana no longer awards maps as you complete the Atlas questline. Well, that was a good way of getting the map that we needed for the next tier. Instead, she awards free uses of her special map Device League modifiers the first time they are unlocked. Added Shrapnel Ballista as a quest reward for the Ranger. Added Arrow Nova support. Added Incendiary Artillery Ballista Brush for greater volley. PvP changes. Does anyone freaking PvP? We better read it anyway. PvP characters can no longer appear on the ladders. Barrage now applies 20% damage penalty against players. Arrow Nova applies a 20% damage penalty. Greater Volley now has a 25% damage penalty. And Artillery Ballista has a 30% damage penalty. Alright, bug fixes. What does this say? I don't know. Why are these people allowed to post this garbage and I'm not allowed to post Toucan in chat? This is fucked up. It's either all okay or none okay. Fixed a bug where Midnight Bargain life reservation wouldn't correctly maintain the hidden life reserved value. You died for things that cared about amounts of life reserved, such as the Guardian's Radiant Faith. Improved how Purifying Flame handles terrain elevation changes. Fixed the bug where if you were not the first player to enter a PvP area, you could use body swap on a pet. It would unfortunately not transform you into the pet. GGG's kind of like this. Oh, isn't this funny? Ha! When everyone else is like, dude, this is fucking serious. Stop clowning around. GGG are fucking clowns, dude. Let me take a drink of water. 1 second. Fixed more weird betrayal states. Particularly with safe health condition. Fixed the bug where Legion monster auras could affect players and other monsters before they had been revealed by activating the Legion monolith. Fixed the bug that caused mines to have a different rotation other than the game client on the game client than server. Fixed the bug where smite on weapon effect would persist if you interrupted the skill with movement. Fixed the bug where some projectiles that are supported by fade over time would persist invisibly. They had fought from an enemy. Fixed a bug which caused Cobra, Lash, and Shadowy Seal to behave poorly when targeting a locational enemy at a different height. They should now hit cliff faces a lot less often. Yeah, well, cliff faces are a bit... I have relatively about 5% salt at the moment. Stygian Dawn Belt is now going to be so expensive. 35% faster ignite. I don't know what faster ignite means. Does that mean ignites have less duration? I think you mean less duration. Because that's pretty... Yeah, that would mean you could put on more ignites. Wow. Fixed the bug where Fireflies in the Delve Talisman encounter were not making monsters vulnerable. Ooh. Fixed the bug where Flame Dash with the Stygian effect would work incorrectly when using Predictive Network or playing on console. Fixed the bug where if you used both Phase Run and Withering Steps simultaneously, you would get to keep those effects. Keep the effects of both, whereas one should remove the other. Come on guys, playtest this shit. Fixed a bug which caused Act 4 Piety not to use her cleave nearly as often as she should. I've never seen Piety use her cleave. Fixed a bug where the visual effects from cycling buffs on Airbjorks and Orgaya would linger. I don't know what either of those two mean. Fixed a bug where standing on an enemy's consecrated ground would not correctly show the debuff, the red border. Fixed a bug where binding advanced mod description to control would prevent you from actually seeing the advanced mod by focusing control. Fixed a wonky transition in the Savage Crabs animation set. Fixed a bug where the Syndicate Laboratory could generate with a wall blocking the entrance in the Sand Slums tile set. Fixed a bug which prevented Blight Relics from taking damage from ground effects. Fixed a bug where Thane Jorgen's transforming an amulet into a tier 3 talisman reward would destroy any skins transferred onto the original amulet. Fixed a bug where vulnerability from Coward's Legacy would not be reapplied after dying and reviving in PvP. Smoothed out some unnecessary uneven ground in the battle scarred hideout. Fixed a bug where insightfulness and quality blood magic support gem linked into a skill. Your skill buzz tip would flicker if your energy shield was regenerating and degenerating at the same time. Yeah, definitely explosive arrow. Explosive arrow and then burning arrow for single target or something like that. Fixed the bug where Blackguard scouts could have levitating crossbow, just like hanging out with them. Oh, you guys are so funny. You guys are so funny. just hanging out. Just hanging out with them. Oh my god. I mean, I'm joking when I say that because this shit is hilarious. They're like all serious and shit, and then just like, oh, we fixed this bug where they've just got this floating arrow just like hanging out with them, and it's just like, what the fuck, guy? Fixed some bad delve paths where you'd think you'd going one. It fixed some bad delve paths where you'd think you were going one way, and then you'd go another, much longer way. Or much longer. That's not fine, but I mean the cart would be like, yeah, we're going to the right, we're going to the right. Oh, juke, going to the left. That was annoying. Fixed the bad visualization interaction between Celestial Leapstam and Divine Arcane Wings. Fixed the bug where the Enchanted Fossil and Delve Stash tab was slightly too far left. Fixed a bug where the emerge sound played during the Delve Spider encounter was unaffected by the volume slider. Oh, that would have been annoying. Fixed some variations on the ornate planter decoration, which didn't have any collision. Fixed view distances in the towering hideout. Niche cases of physical damage over time that was unaffected by Immortal Call and Pride. Fixed a bug where the Hand of Wisdom in action and the Hand of Sword Motion 3D art on the Marauder were both incorrect. Fixed a bug where prophecies that dropped items could trigger the drop on enemies that were unreachable and untargetable. Therefore, the item would also be yeah, okay, that's kind of shit. Fixed a bug where Heavy Strike visual effect would linger if the skill was cancelled by movement. I don't know about skill cancelling. I think this is not the correct game for skill cancelling. I honestly think skill cancelling has no place in a PvE game. Fix the bug which caused minions created by dominating blow to not use their shield charge. That's fucking random. Fix the bug introduced in 3.8 where monster generation and rewards from specific Legion encounters would never roll their maximum values, resulting in less items be awarded than intended. James was telling me about Legion drops. They were shit. Fixed the bug where the extra effects applied to shocked enemies by Brain Rattler were being modified by some modifiers to shock effect. Fixed a bug where shock was considered the same element as chill for Yoke of Suffering. Fixed the bug where Sap, Brittle, and Scorch were considered the same as chill, Yoke of Suffering. The Yoke of Suffering was just fucking broken, guys. Okay, there we go. Nice. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay sane.